I just watched Now You See Me, Now You Don't, so here's my full spoiler-free thoughts on the best and worst parts of the movie. This movie picks up about 10 years after the events of Now You See Me 2, and our four horsemen illusionists haven't worked together in that time, but this movie sees them reuniting, while at the same time adding some newcomers to the cast as some new upcoming magicians that are kind of inspired by the four horsemen, but also think they're better than them in some ways, and they're played by Dominic Sessa, Justice Smith, and Ariana Greenblatt. And they all have to kind of team up to take on the villain of this movie, who is Veronica, that is the heir of this diamond empire company that's just doing all this money laundering and illegal stuff. And surprisingly, the new cast members are actually one of the biggest highlights of the movie for me. I think they actually have a really fun dynamic between each other, and seeing them interact with kind of the older horsemen and how they want to do things in different ways. And they really inject some much needed life into this franchise, because honestly, a lot of the original cast members feel like they're kind of sleepwalking through this movie for a paycheck. Like Woody Harrelson has some really fun moments as always. Seeing Isla Fisher return was also pretty cool. I still don't really buy Jesse Eisenberg as this like super charismatic guy that he's been playing for 3 movies now. I'm sorry, I much prefer him as like an awkward kind of guy. I do actually think the whole core story here of everything with this whole diamond operation and them trying to stop it is actually pretty good, but the problems with this movie start with the fact that A, it's super reliant on just incredibly dumb plot twists, but B, is that there's simply not enough magic in this movie about magicians and illusionists. Like, I'm sorry, this is just turning into a regular action franchise at this point. I guess obviously there is still magic in these movies, but this one has so many just straight up action movie fight scenes, and I'm like, this is not what I came to this franchise for. And a lot of the magic tricks, even more so than the last 2 movies, rely heavily on CGI, just doing impossible things. And I'm sorry, the magic isn't that entertaining when it's literally just CGI computerized stuff. Like, the first half of the movie does a better job at keeping things kind of reined in, but I feel like everything just keeps getting bigger and stupider as it goes on. I'm like, not every movie sequel needs to be bigger. Sometimes you can just give us more of the same in a different way. Like, that would be better. And like I said, I know nobody comes into these movies expecting an absolute masterpiece, but the writing, especially of the dialogue in this movie, is so cringeworthy at certain points. Like 90% of the lines characters are saying are just straight up cliches or like an MCU Thor Love and Thunder level quip. It kind of results in this movie that is super reliant on plot twists and illusions and fooling the audience, feeling very predictable, which is the last thing you want. Like, there was one trick that actually got me. I was like, oh, how'd they do that? And then when they explain it, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's really just a mixed bag, because like I said, I do like the newcomers, but they kind of overshadow the original horsemen in the cast. And like, the story is fine, but the magic everybody comes to these movies for is easily the weakest in this entry. And it even reuses certain plot points from the previous film, so it kind of feels very recycled in some ways. So in some ways, I am excited to see where this franchise goes in the future if it does continue. I will definitely not be heartbroken if we never get another one of these. Like, I think this is slightly better than the second movie, but it is noticeably worse than the first Now You See Me. I give this like a solid 5 out of 10. It's just super mediocre, or right down the middle mid. If you've seen the movie, let me know your rating for it in the comments below, and your ranking of all 3 Now You See Me movies. If you want to see all my other movie reviews on the channel for all the biggest and recent releases that have came out lately, make sure to click the playlist above my head right now where you can watch all of them, and thank you so much for watching.